Welcome to Frame by Frame. Today we're diving into one of the most intense and gut-wrenching revenge thrillers of all time. I Saw the Devil. Directed by Kim Ji-woon, this 2010 South Korean masterpiece is not for the faint of heart. It's a story of love, loss, vengeance, and the moral decay that comes with pursuing justice through violence. The film opens on a snowy winter night. Joo-yeon, a kind-hearted woman, is driving along a desolate road when her car suddenly breaks down. She calls her fiancé, Kim Soo-hyun, a highly skilled secret agent, for reassurance. Their conversation is warm, filled with love and future plans. But then a stranger approaches her car. This man, Kyung-chul, appears harmless at first, offering assistance. What Joo-yeon doesn't know is that Kyung-chul is a sadistic serial killer who preys on the weak. He brutally attacks her, dragging her into his van and taking her to a secluded hideout. The film doesn't show all the gruesome details, but the implication of Kyung-chul's violence is chilling. By the next day, Joo-yeon's mutilated body is discovered in a river, leaving her family and fiancé devastated. This horrific act sets the stage for a dark and unrelenting story of vengeance. At Joo-yeon's funeral, her father, a retired police chief, and Soo-hyun struggle to contain their emotions. Soo-hyun's stoic exterior hides a storm of grief and rage. He isn't just mourning her death, he's plotting revenge. Joo-yeon's father urges him not to lose himself in vengeance, but Soo-hyun has already made up his mind. His mission isn't just to catch the killer, it's to make him suffer. He begins his search by narrowing down suspects, using his intelligence and connections to track down Kyung-chul. Soo-hyun soon finds Kyung-chul's hideout, a decrepit building filled with horrifying trophies from his past victims. Among the evidence, Soo-hyun discovers items belonging to Joo-yeon, confirming his worst fears. But instead of calling for backup or arresting Kyung-chul, Soo-hyun makes a chilling decision. He decides to handle the killer himself, setting in motion a plan that will transform him into something unrecognizable. Soo-hyun tracks Kyung-chul to his next target, a young schoolgirl walking home alone. Just as Kyung-chul prepares to strike, Soo-hyun ambushes him, delivering a brutal and calculated beating. But instead of killing him, Soo-hyun implants a GPS tracker in Kyung-chul's body and lets him go. This isn't an act of mercy. Soo-hyun wants to play a long game of torment, making Kyung-chul feel powerless and hunted. It's a calculated, almost sadistic plan to make the killer experience the fear and suffering he's inflicted on others. Over the following days, Soo-hyun tracks Kyung-chul's every move. Each time Kyung-chul attempts to harm someone, Soo-hyun appears, delivering another savage beating before letting him go. The punishments escalate. Soo-hyun breaks Kyung-chul's hand, forces him to swallow a razor blade, and leaves him barely alive. But the more Soo-hyun inflicts pain, the darker he becomes. His vengeance consumes him, and the line between hero and monster begins to blur. Kyung-chul, despite being tormented, isn't a victim. He's cunning and thrives on chaos. Eventually, he discovers the GPS tracker implanted in his body. This gives him an opportunity to turn the tables. In a shocking twist, Kyung-chul lures Soo-hyun into a trap, forcing him to confront the consequences of his actions. Kyung-chul murders the daughter of Soo-hyun's close ally, a family friend, leaving behind a gruesome scene. This horrific act serves as a message to Soo-hyun. Vengeance has a cost, and innocent people are paying the price. In one of the film's most disturbing sequences, Kyung-chul visits an old acquaintance, a cannibalistic serial killer. Together they revel in their depravity, sharing gruesome stories of their crimes. It's a haunting glimpse into the world of unchecked evil, and it underscores just how dangerous Kyung-chul is. Soo-hyun, still tracking him, interrupts this gathering, brutally killing Kyung-chul's accomplice. But again, he spares Kyung-chul's life, continuing his plan to torment him further. Each encounter becomes more brutal, pushing both men closer to their breaking points. After a series of violent confrontations, Soo-hyun finally captures Kyung-chul for the last time. But he doesn't plan to kill him outright. Instead, Soo-hyun constructs a horrifying trap to deliver poetic justice. He binds Kyung-chul to a guillotine-like device, rigging it so that his estranged family, his son and ex-wife, will unwittingly trigger his death. It's a chillingly calculated act, designed to make Kyung-chul's death as painful and humiliating as possible. The trap works perfectly. Kyung-chul's family, unaware of the setup, triggers the mechanism, decapitating him in front of them. It's a moment of dark poetic justice, but it's not triumphant. As Kyung-chul dies, laughing maniacally to the very end, Soo-hyun watches from a distance. His face is blank, his mission complete, but the weight of his actions begins to crush him. With Kyung-chul dead, Soo-hyun walks away, but he's far from victorious. He breaks down in tears, overcome by the realization that his revenge has destroyed him. He's not the man Joo-yeon loved anymore. The film ends on a haunting note, with Soo-hyun walking into the darkness, leaving behind a trail of destruction. He's defeated the monster, but at what cost? The moral questions linger. Was his vengeance worth it, or has he become the very thing he sought to destroy? I Saw the Devil isn't just a revenge thriller. It's a meditation on the cyclical nature of violence. It forces us to confront the darkest parts of human nature, asking, how far would you go for revenge? Soo-hyun begins as a righteous hero, but his journey transforms him into a ruthless, vengeful force. By the end, he's almost indistinguishable from Kyung-chul. The film challenges viewers to question whether vengeance is ever justified or if it only perpetuates more suffering. And that's I Saw the Devil, a dark, unforgettable masterpiece that lingers long after the credits roll. What do you think? Was Soo-hyun justified in his actions, or did he go too far? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more deep dives into the world of cinema, right here on Frame by Frame. Until next time, stay safe and keep exploring the frames that define cinema.